if you've got testosterone coming out of your screen, it's because my audience is full of guys today. All right, we're doing that because we aired the show about the role of the man in the family. I talked about how men need to expand their definition of success as a man. We knew this would be an important topic and it would take more than one show to get to the nitty-gritty of a man's role in the modern family. And boy, were we right. The message boards just lit up, absolutely shut us down. We couldn't process them. Here's what some of you had to say.
The Role of the Man show was perfect. It gave me a lot of insight into men and how they feel. Bravo, Dr. Phil.
It was the first time my husband watched the entire show without getting up. I realized how differently that men and women think. I cried. It was incredible.
My husband and I had become so disconnected that I moved into the guest room. After the show, we both made commitments to restart our marriage. Our communication has improved 100%, and I'm moving back into our bedroom.
When I saw the Role of the Man show, I was so happy and pleased. It really changed our lives. We're dating now, after 30 years of marriage.
All right, I'm following up with some of the guests from that show today, but the Role of the Man in the Family will be an ongoing series. This is an important thing in this day and time. I want to challenge and inspire the men of America to step up and become truly successful as fathers, husbands, and sons. David provided his wife with everything money could buy, but according to both of them, little else. They were so disconnected, they slept in separate bedrooms. You'll remember David. Take a look.
I do love my wife, and I don't know how to impress upon her how much I care.
We don't talk, touch, and I have recently moved to another bedroom. It's just not the way it's supposed to be.
I can never tell my wife I love her because nobody ever said it to me.
We're just existing, we're not living. We will not last much longer if things don't change.
What is the main thing that's missing for you?
Being able to be affectionate. I don't feel like I know how to be.
You have a job to do, and your number one job is to be provider. What if I told you that there are like 5 or 6 different kinds of income? There's monetary income,
I know that.
but there's psychological income, emotional income, spiritual income, security income, familial income. If you're going to be a provider, you have to provide in all of those ways. How you doing on protecting your wife's self-esteem?
I'm not doing a very good job.
The only person you need access to change this is you. You have to broaden your definition of success as a man. I decided to expand my definition to include the fact that I want my wife to be able to stand in a room full of 1,000 women, look around and know that another woman in this room gets treated better than me. Marriage isn't 50-50, it's 100-100, okay? You get what you give. What do you think?
I think it makes perfect sense, and I'm ready.
What do you want your life to be like with David?
I want to be able to walk into a room of 1,000 people and say, I got the best one.
Do you love this man?
Yes, I do.
Are you committed to him?
Absolutely.
Will you support his efforts?
Absolutely.
Well, I challenge David to make the first move towards intimacy. It is ridiculous to sit around and say, I'm waiting for my partner to do it. We checked up on David and Valerie 2 months later, and here's what happened.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Good.
What are you doing, watching Dr. Phil?
There has been a dramatic change in the way Valerie and I have been dealing with each other. We are more open, more honest, and sharing of our feelings.
It was almost immediately after the show, we spent quality time together talking and holding hands and just really enjoying ourselves for the first time in a long time.
Why do I have to do all these things when I don't feel I'm getting anything out of it? And when Dr. Phil said, it's because it's your job, a light bulb went off. If you don't want the job, get out of the relationship.
David and I moved back into the same room the day we got home.
I want Valerie and I to go out and to shop together, to find bedroom furniture that represents our lives together.
We're going to redo our bedroom with new carpet and new paint, and for the first time, have a room that's ours.
This will be our room, not a room full of pictures of the kids.
No kids. He's very affectionate now. He doesn't leave without kissing me goodbye. He calls in the middle of the day just to say hello.
I just got done with my appointment, and on my way home.
We have a sex life now, and it's more than a sex life. We make love now for the first time in a long time.
I feel that I have a new lease on my relationship with my wife. I feel that I am not in this alone anymore.
Well, David is back to tell us how he's been trying to redefine his role as man and husband. So, how do you think you're doing?
For the first time in my life, I feel truly loved, and that was something that was missing for me.
Okay, tell me why you think you feel loved now. You've made the changes, but what you're saying is you're receiving something different. Tell me why.
I'm receiving a commitment and support from Valerie that maybe she was giving me before, but I didn't see it. I was so upset, I was so angry, I was frustrated from all the things in my past. And the reason I can receive it now is because I feel like I was able to let go. I mean, you made the point, it's not my parents, it's not what Valerie does, it's what I do and what I make of it. And she's just been so supportive of my changes.
And you know, your wife is here, Valerie's here, and you have some questions as well.
You were very clear with David as to what his job was, and I feel a little lost as to what's my job.
I feel that my role is to lead the direction, and if I want something from her, I ask.
The good news is you're doing great. The bad news is it's just the tip of the iceberg. I've talked and written a lot about what I call the authentic self, and that is the authentic self. When you are being who you are meant to be, who you are designed to be, who you are called to be, everything about you that you can do, that you can be, then you're going to feel right. You're going to feel whole. You're going to feel open to receiving all the things that you're talking about. And when you get pushed off of that and you get into the anger and the bitterness and the resentment, then you can't see anymore. It's like a lens that goes out of focus.
Right.
You don't see the acceptance. You don't see the things that need to be there. And that's why all of a sudden, as that lens has come into focus, then you recognize that it's there. Tell me about forgiveness in your life. Tell me about what you've done in that regard.
I had to forgive my mother. My father's deceased, and I've been blaming my mom for a lot of the things that she did in my childhood that I never forgave her fully for. And when Valerie would behave in a way that resembled, not Valerie abusing me, but just ways that she responded to me, I guess I just went back in time and was afraid, I was fearful, and now I just don't see that.
If we were driving across the country, just you and I, and we were coming in like to the Rocky Mountains and everything was beautiful, and I made you sit backwards, all you could do is just look at the road as it went. You couldn't look ahead, you couldn't look aside. What would be your experience of that beautiful vista? It'd be nothing.
Right.
All you would see is just pavement going behind you. That's what happens when you live in the past. If you live in the past, then your past becomes your future.
Right.
Because you drag all of that up, and what you're telling me is you've chosen to let that go.
Correct.
And what I want to talk to you about is what you do now. We're going to take a break. Now, David has made some radical changes, but what does this mean for Valerie? Is it business as usual for the mate of a changed man, or is she supposed to be doing something different? I'm going to tell you what both of them can and should do when we come back. We're checking in with some of our guests from the Role of the Man in the Family show to see how and if they've changed. Last time, David's wife, Valerie, said that after 17 years of marriage, she was lonelier than ever. And did you recognize that?
Yes.
Did you know that she was lonely?
Yes.
I want you to make this your way of measuring who you are, really. If you can incorporate this in and say, the way I determine my value and worth as a man is going to be measured against this yardstick that I've been given. That's the compass, that's the North Star. If I have something present itself to me as an option, do I do that? Well, does it move me towards fulfillment of those roles that I, as the man in this family, should have? Does it move me towards protecting her self-esteem? Does it move me towards having a spiritual center in my family? Does it move me towards providing for everyone in my family? You are a competitive guy.
Yes.
And you work hard and you achieve and you've been very successful. And if you take that same competitiveness and put it into this role as the man in your family, then you will do the same thing there. But you got to believe that from the inside out, do you?
I absolutely believe it. At first, I did go on blind faith. At first, I did exactly what you told me to do.
And I asked you to, and that's exactly right.
But you gave me a job description that I didn't have before. You know, I studied psychology, child development. I knew that my children at a young age are going to do things that a lot of children do. So when they did it, I wasn't surprised. I was able to handle it. I went to real estate school and I learned what my job was to be a good agent. And I went to training classes on how I could be more proficient in my job. I never had that with my wife. So what you did was give me a job description that I was able to apply. And it's working. It's working.
I believe that it's critical to have a plan.
Yes.
I mean, I really do. I can't tell you how often I have prevailed in a situation because I was the only one in the room with a plan. There might have been smarter people, there might have been better positioned people, but I had a plan.
Right.
And the man with a plan controls the day.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to create success, you've got to have a plan. Valerie, do you think you really know David?
Yes, I do.
How well do you think you know him?
You know, for a long time, I thought I knew him better than he knew himself because I always knew he had all of this in him. Mm-hmm.
And how well do you think you know her?
I think I know her pretty well.
Okay. Would it surprise either one of you if I said, I don't think you know each other at all?
It wouldn't surprise me that you
Probably
said
wouldn't surprise me either.
No, I think you guys know each other better than probably 75% of the couples in America.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
And I don't think you know each other very well. But I'm going to tell you what I mean when I say know each other, because I'm going to give you some homework for the next level. I wrote a book called Relationship Rescue. There is something in here that is referred to as a partner profile, building a partner profile. And this is going to walk you through and it just goes on for pages. In fact, I'll give you this book that I've highlighted for you. It goes on for pages that has all the things that I want you to learn about your partner. And let me tell you the kind of things that this is going to ask you, because this is my definition of intimacy. My definition of intimacy is when every person here, all of you guys here, whether you like to acknowledge it or not, everyone has their own private reality. Right. They have those things they know that they don't talk about. Their innermost fears, their innermost prides, their innermost needs, everything about them that is available to a public of one, and that's you. You are only truly intimate with another person if and when you allow them into that private world. I want you guys to go, and I want you to lead this. And you keep saying, what about me? What about me? What if there is this whole process of discovery that you could go through to rediscover, to newly discover her, things that you don't even know about her? Would you want to know those things?
I absolutely want to know. It would give me the opportunity to serve her that much more. One of the surveys you gave me was, what makes me happy?
Yeah.
What makes me happy is knowing that I've brought satisfaction to someone else. If I don't know what she wants, if I don't know, what's going to make her happy, then then I'm not happy because I don't have the opportunity to give her satisfaction.
And don't you want her to know that about you?
I do.
I had these guys take some tests just this morning. You had to complete some answers. The stem was, I would give anything if my partner would. And his answer was, understand me. I would be more lovable if I was understood. If I only had a greater sense of self. And that's the point. You got to know you before you can teach her about you, and you don't know about you. You learned things sitting with me 20 minutes 2 months ago you didn't know. How old are you? You've had a while. You've had a while, and you say you know each other. You said you knew him better than he knew himself. You probably do. He said some interesting things here as well. He said, it hurts me when my partner neglects me. I feel most lonely when no one listens to me or hears me. I am afraid of being alone, and together we can do anything. And you said the same thing. You said the same thing. When I say I want you to know her, I want you to know what she thinks about when she first wakes up in the morning. I want you to know what she thinks about when she's driving down the street. I want you to know what makes her laugh when she thinks it wouldn't be appropriate to laugh right now. I want you to know everything about her. Can you imagine if you went to buy a house and you just kind of drove past it one night and you just kind of saw it from the curb and it looked really cool and you bought it and you thought, wow, I really made a good buy. And then you drove by there the next morning and realized, my gosh, this has a second floor. And look here, there's a Ferrari in the garage. I mean, wouldn't that be amazing if you just kept opening doors and the whole panorama just opened up? What if there are dimensions there you've never even discovered? Wouldn't you want to know that?
I do.
That's what these questions are going to lead you through. Now, what's that got to do with the role of the man in the family? It is your job to define your relationship and your family on that level. You can't protect what you don't know. You can't provide to whom you don't know. You have to plug in. You have to plug in and create that intimacy. And when she lets you in that world, you need to walk very, very gently. Because if ever one time you use anything you were told in that private world, in an argument or for leverage, or throw it up in her face, you will have gone somewhere from which there is no return.
I understand that very much.
Do you know what your job is? To support him in his efforts to create this level of intimacy here, to be a willing spirit, to do the same work of discovery that he's doing with you. Because I will promise you, there are things about him that you don't know and you are going to like a lot.
Okay.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, when do we get our book?
Yeah. Well, you have to wait till the end of the show.
Okay.
All right, but then I'm going to give it to you, and there's like 20 or 30 pages there that you're going to walk through. You got to answer every one of those questions. And then the next chapter says, all right, what do we do with all this information? And we're going to be following you guys and watching y'all like a hawk.
Oh my.
All right, up next, Chris thought that his role as the man meant his wife should have sex with him on demand. Well, that's a good deal if you can get it, Chris. But how's that working for you? Not very well. We're going to find out if he followed some of the advice that I gave him or he still needs some more attitude adjustment. We'll be right back. All right, we're checking in with guests from our Role of the Man in the Family show to find out if anything I said caused them to change their behavior. Chris spoke from the audience that day and expressed frustration because his wife wouldn't have sex with him whenever he wanted it. Well, he taped and watched the show several times, and he's beginning to take some baby steps towards becoming a protector of his wife's self-esteem. Take a look, and then we'll talk about it. Chris is with us, and he says he withholds support to his wife because she withholds sex, and it's become a vicious cycle, right?
She says no, 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 and then that really makes me mad, so I withdraw, and I become bitter.
That's the logic of a man, okay? It's like, okay, I checked these 3 squares off.
Right.
Now, you come over here and check your one square.
One square, exactly.
That's what you're saying. Well, it may just be that psychological skin has been burned, and maybe it takes a little more than a day of you being horny, okay?
Don't touch me.
When I saw myself on the DrPhil show, I saw someone who's pretty selfish, who wanted to hop in the sack and take care of business. I start in the morning by being nice to her, and then at the end of the night, I'm like, here we go, my turn. And I'll bring up something about, you think we can do something tonight, and the whole day shot. Doesn't matter if we got along like two peas in a pod. That one word, sex, screws up everything.
Don't touch me. I am so tired of having the same conversation over and over. I'm tired of being expected to give and not receive. Sometimes I feel like I'm just on the edge of the cliff and falling off.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it. There we go, and right there too. Okay.
One of the things that DrPhil had mentioned is the role of man is to protect the wife's self-esteem. That really struck me because it has not been protected. After being on the show, I asked Chris how did he think he sounded, and he said that he sounded like someone who just wanted sex. I think that he's finally understanding how I've been feeling and that he's really ready to make a change.
DrPhil, I'm starting to get it, but I need more help becoming a better husband.
Well, you do need help, and I'm going to offer you some of that help, and then I'm going to be curious to see what your wife thinks she can do to offer some help in this situation as well. Is there a history here where you have done things, said things that have caused your wife to take a step back from you? And if so, what are they?
We eloped, basically, and got married after 3 months. And what I brought to the marriage was some secrets, and one of the secrets was internet pornography. And that right there was a betrayal to her when she found out that I was involved in that. That was one thing. The second thing was that through all the arguments, one thing I said to her, which continues to chase me today, was that I married you that I didn't love you when I married you.
Do you love your wife today?
Yes, tremendously.
So you've grown to love her?
Yes.
And you can say that in honesty?
Yes.
What have you learned from what we've talked about?
Well, that the role of a man involves a lot more than, for me, than just sex. I've learned that you have to really care about your wife more than you care about yourself and your own needs. But for me, I don't know how to do that. So watching David and seeing his story is inspiring.
You don't know how to do what?
I don't know how to get past me. I love my wife, but one thing I've had a problem doing is trying to send flowers, trying to do nice things for her when I'm not getting what I feel I need. So when I'm upset or when I feel I'm being treated unfairly, it's hard for me to go out and get flowers and do those things that you say you have to protect her. How do you protect someone?
So you are in the standoff. It's kind of like, I'll do this if you do that.
Yes, I guess I'm still kind of attached to that.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You have a job as the man in this family. And she didn't give you that job, and she can't take that job away. That is your job. That is what you are to do. If you don't do this, if you don't become the man that I'm describing to you, if you don't become the husband, the father, the protector, the provider, all of those things that I'm describing to you, then what are you here for? Are you here to like make some money and spend it and consume some goods and then die? I mean, is that what you're here for?
No.
I mean, what are you here for if not to fill this role that I'm describing?
That's why I'm here, to find out how to fulfill the role. I mean,
But the first thing is, do you believe and do you buy into the fact that whether she cooperates or whether she doesn't, you have a job to do?
I buy into that. Yes, I do.
She may divorce you. She may run you off. She may decide that whatever you've done is a life sentence from which there is no parole, there is no pardon, that she's going to punish you for the rest of her life. And if that's your attitude, you and I are going to talk in a minute.
Okay.
Your job is to fill that role as the man, whether she likes it or whether she doesn't, whether she approves or whether she doesn't. This is between you and you. Now, I know I'm being hard about that, but I'm just telling you the truth as I see it. You don't have to substitute my judgment for your own, but you came here, so I'm going to tell you. We're going to take a break, and I'm going to tell you some more. Will Tracy let Chris back into her bed? You know, some practical things Chris may want to do to tear down the walls that are encasing Tracy's heart, and some advice for Tracy, too, when we come back. I've invited some of my guests from the Role of the Man in the Family show back to find out how their lives have changed since they were here, if at all. Now, Chris talked about how he failed as his wife's emotional provider and how that caused Tracy to shut him out sexually as well as some other things. Now, I've been talking to you very straight. What does it mean to you when I say she didn't give you that job and she can't take that away? That's your job. What does that mean to you?
That means that it's not her responsibility to define who I am. It's my responsibility to find out, like you stated earlier, what I'm supposed to do, and what I do does not depend on her reaction.
You have children.
Yes.
You don't have the right to quit. You don't have the right to get pouty. You don't have the right to just say, well, I didn't get what I want, so you don't get what you want. You have to do your job. Your reward should be the peace of mind and peace that you have in your heart from being able to look yourself in the mirror and say, I am doing my job. Now, maybe right now it's not giving me the rewards that I think I ought to have. And I don't know, maybe you shouldn't have them yet. I don't know. You have to decide whether or not you are being true to yourself. And do you think internet porn is being true to yourself? Do you think it's being true to yourself?
No. I thought it was replacing something I wasn't getting.
Yeah, because this is called one of these victimless crimes type thing and everything. You realize, do you not, that that's someone's daughter? And in order for them to do that, you have to watch so they get money so they can exploit her. Is that your legacy? Is that what you want to say to your boys, this is your dad? Of course not. And you can figure a way that watching internet porn is tracking you to being a protector and a provider and a leader and a teacher, then do it. But I don't think that's going to line up with any of those compass points, do you?
No, not
okay,
at all.
And then when you got married, you said, by the way, I don't love you. Did you have a head injury as a child? I mean, you don't need to come see Dr. Phil to know that's not smart.
Right.
I mean, hell, Lassie could figure that one out. Woof.
Right.
You know,
Right.
What are you thinking?
Right.
Okay, now you got to try to unring that bell. And you're saying, well, I did that. You said it starts in the morning, so I was there patting her on the back in the morning. Well, you know what? You do that until. That's how long you do that. Do you do that a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? No, you do it until. You live who you are. You live that love. You live protecting that self-esteem. You live that role. And when you do, you are creating a new history. Now, what can you do to help him be the man that he needs to be in this family?
I need to forgive him and turn around in the car and start looking at the road, the scenery, and stop watching the road and trust that what he's going to do from now forward is sincere.
And see, that's all about supporting him in his quest to be the man you say you want.
Right.
Okay, and the alternative is that the mistakes that he's made, the mistakes that David has made, the mistakes that others have made, if they make an earnest, genuine change in that, you have to be willing to recognize that change. Or is this a life sentence?
No.
He served 8 years and he goes before the parole board and the answer is, don't touch me. Now, and my question is, what are you getting out of that?
Absolutely nothing.
That's not true, or you wouldn't be doing it. You've been doing it a long time. Somehow or another, you've scrambled up to the moral high ground and said, okay, I got you now, buddy. I got you now. You screwed up big time, and I got the power now, and you're serving a life sentence. Because forgiveness is a choice. Forgiveness is a choice, and you haven't made it. And I would think he would get huge points just for being here. I mean, I think any guy comes on Dr. Phil show should get lucky that night. I mean, I absolutely do. I think this ought to be. That ought to be in the release you sign when you come on here. I mean, but no, I'm teasing you a little bit, but do you see what I'm saying? You are living in the past. You know what you do? You step up and say, I am willing to take another risk. I am willing to say, I have seen enough good faith, I have seen enough good deeds, I have seen enough effort that I am going to try and help by inspiring him to the next level instead of punishing him for the one he functioned on before.
Absolutely.
Okay? And like I said, when trust is extended, when care is extended, when intimacy is shared, you better think about what you're doing. You better think about what you're doing, because you don't want that extended to you if you aren't mature enough to handle it. Because this is not what can she do for me, it's what can I do for her. And if you haven't figured this out yet, the happier you make her, the more satisfied she becomes mentally, emotionally, physically, every possible way, the better partner she is for you. The way you can get the most gratification in your life is to be the least selfish person you can possibly be. You have a job here too. Mm-hmm. And it's time you turned your seat around and looked out the windshield, because I think you got a man there running in front of the car that needs a ride. All right? All right. Up next, what's wrong with this picture? That's his mother sitting on his lap, and that's his wife sitting over by herself. We'll meet this mama's boy and talk about his role as a man next. I've got an audience full of men today, and I'm talking about the role of the man in the family. Brian says his mixed feelings of loyalty between his mother and his wife are giving him whiplash. Take a look.
Hello? Hey, yo, Ma, what's up? I feel like I'm between a rock and a hard place with my mom and my wife.
I would describe Brian as a classic mama's boy.
Okay, Mom. Love you too. Bye.
My husband Brian and I are at odds over his mother. My mother-in-law was home alone all day, and I'd come home from a hard day working, and I would be asked what was for dinner. She wants to live with us, and I don't want her to. Brian cannot say no.
I know that if I please my mother, I will disappoint my wife. And if I do what my wife wants, it will disappoint my mother.
My mother-in-law is from a different generation. She never worked, never drove, very dependent, had a really good life, never had to be responsible. I think Norma gave him pretty much whatever he wanted when he wanted it. I'm beginning to resent the fact that you always make me out to be the bad guy in this, because I'm the only one that says anything.
I am too much of a yes man. I do go out of my way to please people, and particularly my mom.
If Brian can't learn to set boundaries and say no and put me as a priority, then he may have to go live with his mother.
Dr. Phil, I'm tired of being a mama's boy. How can I tell my mom that it's time to put my wife's needs first?
Okay.
I've been bad.
You cannot serve two masters.
No.
You cannot have a competition between your mother and your wife. Oh, no. Your role as the man in this family, you must absolutely, unequivocally have undivided loyalty to your wife and your children. Now, let's look at the flip side of that. How old's your mother?
She's going to be 81, I think.
Okay, she is elderly, and you have a part of you that says you don't turn your back on your elderly mother, correct?
Well, correct.
And I would not think you much of a man if you turned your back on your mother. That's not what I'm telling you. I don't want you to do anything mean, cruel, or cold. I don't want her to come home tomorrow and find her stuff on the lawn and the lock's changed.
Yeah.
You know, that is not what we're talking about here.
Right.
But there are some things you have to do. All right, coming up, this isn't between wife and mother-in-law. I'm going to tell you where I think this has to sit when we come back. We're talking about the role of the man in terms of being a husband, a father, and even a son, particularly when your parents get elderly. Brian says that his feelings of loyalty towards his widowed mother are jeopardizing his marriage. You have to decide what your job is, what your role is, and you either have to truly believe that and make a life decision that your loyalty lies with your immediate family or it doesn't.
Right.
And have you made that decision?
Yeah, it lies with my wife, but I have a hard time with the boundaries, like you said.
You have actually acquired a home for her, correct?
Yeah, it's less than a mile from our house.
Okay, but she doesn't want to go there.
She thinks we're going to leave her there to rot.
Okay, and you understand that she feels that way because she kind of fears the unknown. Now, you have brothers, right?
I have 3 older brothers.
Okay, well, so first off, this isn't just all your job. The family, the 4 of you need to work together to help your mother be safe and comfortable. There is the unknown, but sometimes you have to move them into it kind of with a lot of support, even if they don't want to do it. Okay. She is inside the boundaries of your marriage. You need to move her outside the boundaries of your marriage with dignity, respect, compassion, and support. But it's time to quit living with your mother. You need to have a family meeting. All the brothers, all the wives, everybody needs to get together, and you need to work out a plan. And will there be some pain of adjustment on your mom's part? Yes, there will be. It will be somewhat traumatic to her in the beginning. But surround her with love, surround her with children, surround her with people visiting and being there, and make sure she's included in a lot of things and ease her into this. But this is your job. You don't make her the heavy. This is between you and your mother. Yeah. You don't get in a conflict with your mother and throw your wife under the bus. Okay, that's not the deal. That's not being the man of this family. True. If you got a problem with your mother, you handle it. You got a problem with your mother, you handle it. You handle this with your mother. That's your job as the man in this family.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.